Dun, dun, dun. Now we are on Daniel. Good book. I think I might like that book, maybe. Possibly. So, king of Babylon, his name was Nebuchadnezzar. He went to Jerusalem and attacked it. And he took off a bunch of the people and carried them off to Babylon where he lived. And he took a bunch of stuff from the temple. All the articles of gold and all the cool metal. And he took it all with him to Babylon because it was worth lots of money. So he has lots of people and lots of loot. And the king ordered Ashpenaz, who was his official in the court. He said, bring me some of the Israelites from the royal family of nobility. So these kids are going to be the best of the best. Alright? And he says, I want young men without any physical defect. They need to be handsome. They have to show aptitude, which means they got to be smart for every kind of learning. They got to be well informed, so they're not only can they learn, but they got to know a lot of stuff already. Quick to understand. So, you can't be having to think about things for a long time. Just be chop chop. Qualified for service in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and the literature of the Babylonians. Because the king of Babylon was actually pretty smart. He would take the best in the land and use it for his benefit. So he knew that these guys were super smart, and they could help him understand Israel and the people, because the people were now his people. So the king assigned them daily amounts of food and wine from the king's table. So fancy food. They were to be trained for 3 years. After that, they were to enter the king's service. Among these was the name Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, spelled just like Mom's name, except for kind of like Michael. Sounds like Mom's. Mishael. I guess it's spelled like Michael. Like my name, except for S instead of C. And Azariah. The chief officials gave them new names that we know them. They gave Daniel Belteshazzar, and Hananiah gave Shadrach, and Manasseh gave Meshach, and to Azariah he gave Abednego. So we got Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Recognize those names? But Daniel resolved. Super important, like most important verse in the book of Daniel. Daniel resolved. Probably the most important word in the most important verse in the book of Daniel. Resolved. He made a decision. He determined in his heart. He pounded the fist on the table. He adamantly put his foot down. He resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine. And he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself. Resolved that, but basically his main resolve was, I'm going to serve God. I'm going to do what I learned growing up. I'm going to serve the Lord. Now, God had caused the official to show favor and sympathy to Daniel. But the official told Daniel, I'm afraid of the king. He's assigned me to you, you to me. If you start looking worse than all the other young men, the king's going to get my head. That says the king would then have my head because of you, which basically means he's going to chop his head off. Daniel then said to the guard, please let your servants for 10 days give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water. Then compare our appearance with the other young men who eat the royal food. So he agreed to put him to the test. Now we know today vegetables is like the bomb and water's the best. So what he thinks is going to happen at the end of 10 days. At the end of 10 days, they looked healthier, better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard took away all the choice food and wine from all the other guys and gave them only vegetables too. So he's like, yeah, this is a good diet. We're going to do this for everybody. So these 4 young men God gave them knowledge and understanding and all kinds of literature and learning, and Daniel could understand visions and dreams of all kinds. At the end of the time the king had set, which was 3 years, the king talked with them, and he found none equal to Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when they entered the king's service. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about the king's questions, he found them 10 times better than all the others, magicians, enchanters, idol worshippers. Alrighty, so they resolved, purposed in their heart they're going to serve the Lord. And did the Lord reward that that determination in their heart to do what was right? Yes, 10 times. So they were the head and not the tail. They were on the top of their class and not the low. Because God just continually, constantly puts those that love Him and do what He wants to. He gives them great favor. Good lesson. Love it. You guys have a good night.